Yeah. In this lecture 3, I will discuss about different type of signal functions. SAG action is one of the function. That function allows us to examine and modify both the actions for associated with the particular signal. This function suspends the signal function from earlier releases of the Unix system. And also we are consider another functions SIG CHLD, nothing but the SIG child function. Here SIG child function, when child process terminates or stops, the kernel will generate SIG CHLD general signal to its parent process. Depending on how the parent set up the following handling of the SIG CHLD signal, different types of events may occur. We'll discuss later those things. And then another thing is called uh, a signal and signal wait PID functions. Here, CHLD as signal wait function will consider, um, and then wait PID functions also were considered to perform the operations of waiting the function and all. Here we discuss about seek action function. The seek action function allows us to examine or modify or both the action associated with the particular signal. This function supersedes the signal function from earlier realizers of the Unix system. Here, the signal action API is replacement for signal API to the latest Unix and POSIX systems. The signal action API is called by the process to set up a signal handling methods for each signal it wants to deal with. Signal action API returns the previous signal handling methods for given signal. Signal API prototype is looking like it includes a return type of a signal action that contains different types of parameter within that. We'll discuss each and every parameters, but that returns in the form of integer type value. And also it includes signal.h header file to perform the operations of a signal action. This returns 0 if the function executes properly, returns -1 any errors occur. This contains three different type of the parameters. One is the integer type of signal number, another one is a constructor of signal actions, and structure of signal actions. One more is the same structure for another way go for using. One is acting, one is OCAT for to perform the operations. There are structures to create to perform the operation of sig action structure. Thus returns 0 if it is performed, yes if generates, -1 if any errors are generated. Here a sig action function API that is replaced by signal API latest signal with the corresponding POSIX systems. The structure of a signal struct SIG action data type is defined in the signal.h file as struct. SIG action is the name of a corresponding structure that contain add of signal handlers or SAG ING signal or SAG DFL, nothing but default or initialization of the signal. For that we can have the signal handler concept of added signal handler with the type. Second one is additional signals to block the corresponding operation. For that we are using SAMRs with a SIGACT function. Next one is in type of the signal action flags are there, signal options are there, what type of flags we are setting that based on the corresponding operation is performed. Then we are consider any alternative handlers we need to go for perform the operation. For that we can have SCA SIG action and in return type with SIG int FO underscore T with the no return type information is there. This is the structure variables that contain with SIG action structure. Then SIG action function, the SA handler field can set to SIG ING or SIG DLF or user defined signal handler functions. SAMRs field specifies the additional signals that processor wishes to block when it is handling SIG number, nothing but signal number with the corresponding signal. And the SIG NO argument designates which signal handling action is defined in the action argument. The previous signal handling methods for signal number will be returned via the old action argument if it is not a null pointer. If action argument is a null pointer, the calling process exits the signal handling methods for signal number will be unchanged. This is the information you are go for using with this type of the signal action function with corresponding sig action structure that we are consider in this method. Following C program illustrates the use of sig action function in the program. Usually we are consider in this program the process signal mask is set with the SIG term signal. The process then defines the signal handler for the SIG int signal and also specifies that the SIG SEGB signal is to be blocked when the process is handling the SIG int signal handling the process int signal. The process then terminates its execution via the pause APIs. The output of the corresponding program would be as right. You can type working out with help of corresponding the program, executing it and produce the required result for the users. Here in these functions SIG CHID signal and the wait PID signal. When child process terminates or stops, the kernel will generate SIG CHID signal to its parent process. Depending on how the parent sets up the handling of SIG CHID signal, different events may occur. First one, the parent accepts the default action of the SIG CHID signal that refers SIG CHID does not terminate the parent process. Parent process will awakened. API will returns the child exit status and process ID to the parents. The kernel will clear up the process table slot allocated for the child process. Parent process can call the wait PID API repeatedly and wait for each child it created. That is for the first one. Second one we consider Parent ignores the SIG-CHLD signals. SIG-CHLD signal will be discarded when it ignores. Parent will not be disturbed even if it is executing the wait PID system call. If the parent calls the wait PID API, the API will suspend the parent until all its child processes are terminated. Child process table slot will be cleared up by the kernel. Finally, API will return as -1 value to the parent process. The third one is process catches and SIG-CHLD signals. Process catches the SIG-CHLD signals. The signal handler function will be called in the parent process whenever a child process terminates. If SIG-CHLD arrives while the parent process is executing the wait PID system call, and wait PID API may be restarted to collect the child exist status and clears its process table slots. Depending on the parent's setup, the API may be aborted and child process table slot not freed. This is the information when you perform the operation of a SIG-CHLD signal and wait PID. Wait PID APIs are perform the operations. Here the signal set jump and signal long jump APIs. SIG SET jump and SIG LONG jump functions have similar functions as their corresponding set jump and long jump APIs. The SIG set jump and SIG long jump APIs are defined in POSIX 1, and most of Unix systems that support signal mask. The function prototype of APIs are given below. Here both the function return integer type value and they contain two different types of variables. One is whatever signal set jump is there to save SIG mask integer type, and return value is the second type for SIG long jump function that also returns integer type value. The SIG set jump and SIG long jump are created to support signal mask processing. Specifically, its implementation depend on whether a process signal masked, saved and restored when it invokes the set jump and long jump APIs respectively. The set jump API behaves similar to the set jump API. SIG set jump API behaves similar to the set jump API concept that have been in the previous discussed. Save SIG mask which allows a user to specify whether a calling process signal masked should be saved to be proved even environment arguments. If the saved SIG mask argument is non-zero, the caller's signal mask is saved, else signal mask is not saved. The SIG long jump API does all operations as the long jump API, but it also restores a calling process signal mask if the mask was saved in the environment argument or env argument. The retval argument specifies the return value of the corresponding SIG jump API when called by SIG long jump API. Its value should be non-zero number, and if it is 0, the SIG long jump API will reset it to 1. The SIG long jump is usually called from the user-defined signal handling function. This is because a process signal mask is modified when signal handler is called, and SIG long jump function should be called to ensure that process signal mask is restored properly when jumping out from the signal handling function. Here, this is uh, the, the meaning of why we are using the two functions SIG set jump and SIG long jump functions in a signal handling concept. Here, the following programming illustrates the set of SIG set jump and SIG long jump APIs. This includes all header files, that is stdio and iostream.h, whatever required for sign.h, signal.h and all others. Header files are required to run this program. Usually we are considered to set the call me the function with integer type value. If it is perform, then catch the signal and display the signal number. Otherwise call SIG long jump function with the other variable. Here the main program that consists of consider with the help of structure of SIG action with the old action or the action SIG empty set type variables also function also called. If SIG add set is there, anything should be add with SIG mask. SIG term is equal to -1, or SIG process mask, SIG set mask, and SIG mask is less than or equal to -1. Then you want to go for set a signal mask. Otherwise, set empty set function is called. Set signal add set function also called. Action handler function also called. Otherwise, once again check the if sig action for specific action with the old action is less than 1, then it generates a sig action prior should be called. Like that, it's supposed to perform some operations with a sig set jump with environment variable comma 1 is not equal to 0, then return from this corresponding signal interruptions and return 0, else returns the first time SIG set jump is called and is passed the value. And here the program sets the signal mask to contain SIG term, and when set up a signal trap for the SIG int signal, the program then calls the SIG set jump to store its code location in the env global environment global variable. The program suspends its execution via the pause API. Whenever the user interrupts the process from the keyboard and call me function is called. The call me function calls SIG long jump API to transfer flow back to the SIG set jump function in main, which now returns two values. And then whenever you want to go for identify, some note to mention, the SIG set time called returns 0 value when directly called in user program and not via SIG long jump function. You want to try to run this program, you want to write a.out and write with 377 return from the time SIG set jump function is called, and it call the kill with int over 377, catch the signal with the second one, return from the signal interruption, want to go for whatever the program is running it.